Nicolas Maduro as the winner.
Venezuelans and the entire world know what happened, opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez stated in his initial remarks.
Former South African President Jacob Zuma was officially expelled from the African National Congress, highlighting a significant split between the party once led by Nelson Mandela and the man once chosen to carry its legacy. President Joe Biden called for Supreme Court reforms, including term limits for justices, a binding code of conduct and ethics rules, and a constitutional amendment to remove presidential immunity from prosecution. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has regained weight and appears to have obesity-related health issues such as high blood pressure and diabetes.
Kim's officials are seeking new medicines abroad to address these health problems.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Ooh, that was a brutal... I don't know, the audio stuff seems to be having a mind of its own lately. Loud, soft, Rush. I like Rush. Becoming more and much of a Rush fan as I get older. If I get older. That's the question. Will I get older? Maybe not. Okay, guys. Get that last note. There you go. That's a nice note. What is that, an A? That's an A, right? Good morning, folks. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, the last day of July 31st, 2024. Summer day. Typical summer day here. Probably a typical summer day there. Anyway, good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. I hope you got your coffee. It's good and hot. And that. Anyway, we're going to meet a young man who is an autism awareness advocate today. Now, in his bio, it talks about being bullied in high school. I think the bullying had nothing to do with his autism. Just the fact that he shows up an hour early, probably showed up an hour early for school. He showed up here like an hour early. He's been sitting waiting in the green room there patiently. But damn, you know what? That's going to get you bullied. Don't show up an hour early. What are you do? I'm kidding. I have to say I'm kidding. Kid doesn't know me. He is still a kid. I believe he's still a kid. Graduated high school early and is now a college student and a sports columnist. So we're going to meet him in just a minute. I want to talk about a couple of things that, first of all, yeah, I don't even finish your thought. I want to talk about a couple of things that are irking me. And I get irked pretty easily because I'm an old man. Get off my lawn. I'm going to go yell at the clouds in a little while after the show. That's what I plan to do this morning after the show is go yell at the clouds. Get off my sky. If you come at me with passive-aggressive behavior, you're going to elicit aggressive behavior. Yesterday, Stephen, the sitcom Ortiz, shared with me a, quote, complaint from somebody, I guess, who knows him. I'm going to see if I can read it, because it set me, I wanted to punch things. And you know what? I might have punched things. I don't really recall that much. Let me just see where is the complaint. Oh, it's in a different thread. It says oh yeah, here's the complaint. I can't stand Trump either, but this whole show has become a TDS bitch fest. It's become painful to watch for me. If that's the case with you, don't watch. Simple answer. But I'm also going to call you a bullshit artist and a chicken shit coward, because first of all, this whole thing's on. I can't stand Trump either. That is the language of a Trumper. We've heard that almost every day from Mike Shavola in the chat room. I'm not a Trumper, but then again, he leads the Trump parade, boat-wise and on the side of the road, cheering the Trump parade on. And the fact that this person used TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, as language that comes from the cult leader, he exposed himself. You know what? Don't be a chicken shit. If you're a Trumper, say you're a Trumper. That's weak and pathetic. And you're trying to, I'm not going to watch anymore. Fuck you, don't watch. Simple. Go to a rally. Go bow at the altar of your false idol. Do whatever you want. But don't come at me with this passive-aggressive stuff, because I am old. But I'm not too old to get in your ass pretty hard. Yeah, it bothers me that some people think they can manipulate the conversation. Here's the deal. I have offered equal time to anybody who disagrees with the politics on this show. And the fact that we seem to be in agreement right now, the four of us on our position on the Donald, has not always been the case. I had 3 previous guest hosts who were Trumpers, and their opinions were welcome here. Now, they quit. They were not fired, and they quit for reasons other than politics stuff. It wasn't because of the disagreements on that. And they were free to express themselves. And I have offered equal time to anybody, whether in the chat room they really want to come on and debate this stuff or talk about it and share their opinions on it, but they won't, because they got nothing. And the fact that this is painful to watch for you, it's because you're hearing the fucking truth for the first time in your miserable, empty-headed lives. So fuck off, really. I think I got that out of my system before I punch the computer screen, which I would like to do. Really would like to do that. Sam Morril, who has a new special out called You've Changed on Netflix, shared this thing from his previous special where he was talking about a guy wearing a fuck racism shirt. And he said, well, problem solved. And he was making jokes about wearing shirts that, so, you know, he said, shirts that seem to address social issues. And they're like, what's the point of that? That's not a problem solved. Anyway, somebody threatened him, sent him a picture of a bullet and said, any objection? Because some of the stuff he was like, he wanted to wear a shirt that said, end baby rape. I mean, why are you wearing that shirt? Well, you're telling me you're for baby rape? No, the shirt says end baby rape. A guy sent him a picture of a bullet, said, any objections? The guy, Cody Dallas Reed, who was working as a corrections officer, was arrested on child molestation and child pornography charges. There you go. Get your bullets out while you got them, I guess. So, you know what? The people who are most quickly outraged and bringing up the cancel culture stuff, probably a lot of red flags when they start doing that. Lastly, I think the Louis C.K. Documentary is out. Some people have been sharing, not the clips from it, them watching it in their living room, which is like really weird. You're shooting your television in your living room. You can't really hear the audio. What's the point of that? Sharing that kind of stuff online. But they're doing it. And so I got to find out if it's out and where it's out because I'm interested in seeing it. Now, I hate to give Jen Kirkman any extra. I don't like her. I just don't like her. I don't want to give her any more attention to this thing, but I have to hear what she has to say about this whole thing. Anyway, I'm gonna play a sponsored music. Now I gotta say, I'm a little bit concerned about doing this in front of somebody who might be underage. So I'm gonna change my sponsor today. Instead of the sponsor I've been running for probably about a month straight now, I'm gonna switch it up and tell you about in video, because this is not offensive or won't be questioned. Is why you having that on with somebody who's a minor, and I don't mean a Bitcoin miner. Anyway, learn about in video, and we'll meet the gentlemen, Ron Kane and Stephen the Sitcom Ortiz, and then we'll meet Caden. Caden, I gotta remember his last name is another trick. McElwain, I think it's McElwain. We'll meet him when we come back too. So here we go, in video.
Hey there, fellow content creators. Are you tired of seeing your YouTube channel growth at a snail's pace? Well, I've got some good news for you. InVideo is here to supercharge your channel growth. With InVideo, you can create eye-catching and engaging videos in a flash. Say goodbye to spending hours editing and perfecting your content. InVideo's user-friendly interface makes it a breeze to create professional-looking videos in no time. But that's not all. InVideo offers a treasure trove of customizable templates, so you can easily tailor your videos to your unique style and brand. Stand out from the crowd and leave a lasting impression on your viewers. And the best part, InVideo is not just a video editing tool, it's a one-stop shop for all your YouTube needs. From creating thumbnails to adding subtitles, InVideo has got you covered every step of the way. So what are you waiting for? Give your YouTube channel the boost it deserves with InVideo. Join the ranks of successful content creators who have used InVideo to skyrocket their channel growth. Trust me, you won't regret it.
Yeah, trust me, you won't regret it. Except I kind of do regret it. YouTube is kind of, I don't know if they're throttling me. What happened was I had been doing a lot of music and comedy stuff, and the channel was growing at an unbelievable pace. But then recently, I switched it up and started adding in some true crime content, some strange history stuff, and they don't know what to do with that. And so the numbers have been like really dropping off on that stuff. They want you. Here's the thing with YouTube, and I think this is not good for culture in general. They want you to do the same thing over and over again. They want to be able to put you in a box, like most marketing companies, most publishers, everybody, most record companies, most film companies, whatever. They want a product that repeats. They want sequels. They want you to do the same thing over and over. I get bored with that. Makes you wonder how YouTube got behind Joe Rogan so much, because Rogan is pretty much, as critical as I am of him, he's pretty diverse in his interest areas. So, and they push him pretty hard, but the algorithm is really, it's not in favor of doing those things. Let's. I'm bringing Caden too quickly. Let's say hello to Ron and Stephen. Stephen, you're muted there. You know you're muted.
I'm not anymore.
Is it just me, or is everything louder than normal today?
I mean, you sound pretty close.
All right. What about the music and the news and all that stuff? Was that loud?
Not at all normal.
Maybe it's my headphones just got fixed or something. I don't know.
Maybe your hearing has been healed.
That can happen. Listen, I go on gigs sometimes. There is a moment where the speaker starts working. The right speaker or the left speaker on my head starts working. It's like, wow, I didn't even realize how deaf I was until it popped back on. Ron, I don't know if you're covering any of this stuff later or today or tomorrow in Showbiz News, but do you know the Louis C.K. thing? Is it out? You're muted. Everybody comes in muted. You bunch of mutes.
Yeah, I believe it is out now.
Huh. So you believe it, so you haven't seen it yet. So
I have not seen it yet.
All right. Do you have any comments? Either of you have any comments about my passive aggressive this thing that Steven sent me to piss me off? Steven's just trying to manipulate me on his own, trying to get me angry, sending me texts about complaints. That's not a complaint. That's passive aggressive.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, you see that comment, that type of shit on. I mean, not just for stuff like this, but just regular events. Someone will post. Someone will fucking put something like political like that, and it's normally like a Trumper too, because they're insecure and things like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. What? The door's right there. It's like these people that say, "Oh, I'm gonna block you." Don't fucking tell me you're gonna block me. Block me. Get lost. I don't know. It really irks me. It makes me, just very angry to deal with these people. It's just like
I don't know. I mean, I'd almost rather people be comfortable giving input than
giving input.
Not.
They're welcome to give input. That, as I said, I offer equal time to anybody that wants to come on and voice their opinion. We have a chat room. They can fucking yell at me all they want to say I'm leaving. Fuck you. That's not giving input. That's trying to manipulate the dialogue by saying, "Oh, you need me." I don't need you. Go fucking play with your G.I. Joe dolls or your Barbie dolls or whatever the fuck you're playing with.
G.I. Joes are action figures.
Yes.
Not dolls.
Yeah.
Let's throw that out there.
All right. You don't want to expose who sent that. You don't want to give a name. Who sent you that?
Nope, I promised anonymity, so
see, now that's even weaker. That is cowardice. I got a complaint, but it absolutely is.
It's like fighting people. It's like wanting to fight people in wheelchairs.
I love fighting people in wheelchairs, though.
Yeah. All right, it's time to meet Caden. Caden is a autism awareness advocate. He has he's got a sports column. He's overcome a lot. He has moved around a lot, and from what I gather, the lockdown during COVID was beneficial to him because it got him out of the bullying situation in high school or whatever, and he was able to graduate early. Now he's a college student. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in Caden McElwain. Good morning, Caden. Am I saying your name right first?
Yes, you are. And I will say, I was actually the type of guy who would show up early to class in high school.
Yeah, I bet you that got you bullied a lot more than your autism situation. It's like, what are you doing here at 7 o'clock in the morning, man? School doesn't start till 9.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I'm honestly grateful I got out of that situation in high school. There was really no need for it. I'm in school to learn.
Yeah.
And you were talking about college. I'm actually going to do online college for the rest of my collegiate career. Not necessarily due to bullying, but because I just don't want to be around that political stuff going on.
Yeah. Now, what college are you going to online?
Kent State University currently.
Penn State. All right, that's pretty cool. You know what? Well, I have a good friend who had a breakdown over the situation that happened at Penn State. You're better off not attending physically at Penn State, given their history. I don't know if you know the history of the Penn State stuff, but if I were a young man, I would not want to be physically present in that situation at all.
Yeah, honestly, college campus life lost my respect the second that students decided not focusing on their academics and dismantling a college campus in the name of a cause they like is okay. That's honestly part of it. I'm in school simply to learn and get a college degree at the cheapest cost possible, which is also part of the reason I'm transferring online for the rest of my college career. So I can get a job and function as a human being in the United States of America. I'm not there to engage in political debates.
Yeah. Oh, now this is interesting because it says in your bio, if I can really quickly glance, that you're studying public relations with aspirations to enter the field of music or political PR, but you're staying away from school for the political stuff. But you want to get into political PR. Seems to be a little contradiction there. Tell me about that.
Yeah, political PR. I mainly want to do that if that's possible, because I think there needs to be more neurodivergent minds in political office. I highly doubt there's enough.
Yeah, no, there needs to be more presence of neurodivergent people all over our awareness, whether it's media and all that stuff. It's but politics. I just think there are just too many fucking talking. I'm scared to even say that F-bomb in front of you. Are you over 18? I can say.
I'm 20 years old. Yes.
Okay, so I can say the F-bomb. Thank you. There's too many pundits, too many people talking. People on Twitter all day long. I'm seeing hundreds of people who are there 24/7. They're tweeting 24/7 about politics stuff. That's their job. And we have cable TV where you have like hundreds of these people. There's just too many people talking politics today. And Sherry Jacobus, who has been on this program, who has been doing it for 30 years, she talks about there's everybody calling themselves an expert in politics now, and the real experts have been kind of pushed to the side, and all you have are these talking heads. So I don't know if that's a great field, but music is a good field to to write about and be in. Politics, I'm not so sure, but now you write a sports article, which is also confusing to me. You in your bio, it talks about aspirations to enter the field of music or political PR. There's a lot of room in the sports world for people to write about stuff, and you're currently already doing that. Why is that not your main focus?
I honestly didn't think about it. I could get into sports PR if I wanted to. I got the experience. You're honestly right. I have had the pleasure of talking with some amazing athletes, some of which would look really good on a resume. I just mainly do the sports column stuff as a casual hobby.
Right. Now, you wrote a column just the other day about Marshall Zachary, a track inspiration and more. This person, I don't know anything about. I'm not following the Olympics. Who is Zachary Marshall?
He's a Paralympian. He was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at, I believe, 2 years old, and he still managed to break a track record in 2017 and compete in the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics.
Wow, very cool. Good for him, and good for you for highlighting it. Now, do you focus on people with special circumstances in athletes, or is that just did we just stumble on that? Fortunately, as our first topic today.
You just stumbled on that as the first topic. I honestly write about anything and everyone, although I've recently been branching out into op-eds about autism awareness.
Right. And how's that going for you? The autism, I mean, in general, as people becoming more, because I'm sure you're aware Asperger's syndrome is, people are claiming that like it's a badge of honor. Everybody wants to be on the spectrum now. It seems like it's a cool thing. It's trendy. How is the autism awareness thing going?
It's going extremely well. I've been on several different platforms already just this year alone. I believe over 60 just this year, 1 or 2 every week, with more to come for the rest of the year. I've been planning fundraisers, as I said, doing the op-eds. That's definitely helping bring awareness. And most recently, Autism Digest even did a piece on me.
No. So yeah. Now, do you think general attitudes in America are changing towards people with autism, understanding it more, and because the people kind of assume that if you're autistic, you're mentally challenged or cognitively challenged in some way. That's not always the case. We have some very brilliant people with autism. Do you think the attitudes in America are changing towards it?
Somewhat. I think we're becoming more aware, not just about autism, but everything for that matter. And we're becoming more inclusive, but we still got a lot of work to do. I consider myself lucky. I'm on the higher end of the spectrum, but there are people who are on the lower end who can't walk, can't talk, and they have to be taken care of the rest of their lives. And society kind of looks down upon them. And that's why we have those stereotypes out there presented in the media and to the public. There was actually one documentary, I'm not sure if you three remember, called Autism Every Day, that really made me sick. It's my new favorite documentary to hate watch, which means you hate watching it, but you enjoy watching it for the pleasure of ridiculing it. And it portrayed three parents, three single moms, I should say, of children who are on the autism spectrum, complaining and moaning and groaning about how their life is so hard, how they're mentally challenged. One mom was in front of a school saying, "Oh, he can't go here because of this." And while watching it, I thought, they do know there's a spectrum, right? They should have focused on the higher end of the spectrum and the teenagers who are on the autism spectrum who have problems with the social situations of life, which is where I'm at. So I'm higher functioning, incredibly intelligent, have a routine I like to do, just socially awkward at times.
We have somebody hate watching the show right now, but he hate watches it every day, so it's not like this is unusual.
I was gonna say that's not new for Ian. It's okay.
Yeah, he hates me.
My kids grew up with some. There was two autistic brothers in our neighborhood, and they were great kids. The one kid was nonverbal for years. Then all of a sudden, he came out of his shell, and he was talking, and he was doing great. But I remember the one time the kids were out playing, and our one neighbor at the time, she was worried because about her kid playing with the kids with autism, because at one point she was like, I don't want them to get it.
Yeah, it's you hear that a lot, honestly. I heard that as a kid because parents didn't want their kids playing with the kid in a wheelchair. It's the same thing. They were like, no, don't go over there near him.
So, Caden, just to be clear, I can't catch it online from you, can I?
It's not a computer virus, Matt. Yeah, I know you're old, but that's not how this works.
Yeah, I know. I think you know what? People have said all my life that I might. They didn't, words like "on the spectrum" weren't part of the vernacular. It was just like there's something wrong with Matt. It's basically
there is, but it's not autism.
Right? It could be. It could be anything.
Just an asshole. That's all.
So now you graduated high school early, right? Like a year early, or just like a couple of months early. Tell me about that.
It was only a couple months early, on Valentine's Day of 2022, to be exact. And I did it all while working two jobs at the same time.
Wow. What kind of jobs were you working?
They were fast food jobs, Hardee's and Dunkin' Donuts.
Hardee's. You guys got Hardee's where you are?
Places.
We don't have Hardee's here.
This was back in Tennessee. I've been all over.
Yeah. Last time I was in a Hardee's, it was in West Virginia in the 80s. That's how long it's been since I've seen a Hardee's. Wow.
Back then, they were Brontosaurus burgers.
So now with those jobs, this is interesting. You had to go to a physical. I'm assuming you had to go to a physical job interview with those, right?
Yes, I did.
And now, was that nerve-wracking for you? Did the interviewer know what to expect, that you were a person on the spectrum, and know what to expect from you, or do you bring that on them in the interview the first they got to know about it?
Well, I had some help preparing for the job interviews with ABA therapy. There was a person who would come by the house about once or twice a week to help me out with life skills, get me ready for adulthood, if you will. One of those things was prepping for a few job interviews, and when I went to the Hardee's interview, I told him, "Look, I'm on the autism spectrum. I don't really let it define me. I still think I can be a hard worker if you give me a chance."
Good
And she's
stuff.
like,
Yeah.
"Okay, you're hired."
Do you, is there anything you can't do, like a job you couldn't do because of being on the spectrum? Not obviously. I'm talking a brain surgeon. You would need qualifications for whatever. I mean, but if you went through and got the training for it, is there any job you couldn't do?
No, I don't think so. Oh, I'm actually working 4 jobs currently this summer.
4? Boy, you're really shaming Steven the sitcom Ortiz, who was just like a freeloading, no job loser. 4 jobs. He's working 4 jobs, and he's still in school. And you're just sitting there chuckling on the internet, taking fake complaints and trying to manipulate the host by pissing them off and sending them. You should be ashamed of yourself, Steven.
Is it working?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yes, ashamed.
So yeah, now you're a freshman in school. You're a sophomore. Where are you at?
I'm a junior, so 2 more years.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, the world has changed a lot since you were in high school. I mean, COVID changed things tremendously. So are you looking forward to getting out into the career job market? You're working 4 jobs, part-time jobs to keep you to get through school, but once school is over, that's when the real world begins. Are you looking forward to that career, choosing a career?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
You are. Let me tell you, I would, if I could do it over again and have somebody old like me give them some sage advice, it would be cherish your youth. Don't rush. Don't want to grow up. Take it slow. That's what I would do. Slow down. Now, are you on any medications?
No, sir. We tried Prozac as a teenager, or we tried that because I was going through some personal rage issues.
I'm going to try that after the show, I think.
Swore off it just because it was making it even worse. And there's honestly no need for medication.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to realize that.
I have a friend who he's kind of inherited guardianship of a guy who's 50 years old, but very much on the spectrum. The guy he's borderline genius, but definitely on the spectrum. He's got lots of social issues and all that kind of stuff. And brought him to the hospital, and it seems like the kid. I call him a kid. He's 50 years old. He's just he's over medicated and addicted to Xanax and all this stuff. And that seems to be, he came up in an era when they misdiagnosed everything and wanted to just medicate the kids so that we don't have to deal with it. It's less of a burden for us if the kid's just stoned out of his mind. Were there any times in your life where they wanted to medicate you and just think, well, it's easier for us if he's stoned?
Not necessarily. I will say, though, when I was first diagnosed at 2 years old, the doctor said, don't expect high school for him or college. Expect trade school for him at least. And my parents weren't going to tolerate that. They knew what I was capable of. They pushed me hard, and look where I'm at now. That's all because they didn't listen to people who gave false advice, who questioned my capabilities.
Right.
Because they knew what I was capable of.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind me saying, I think you are, I don't know how to say this. There are a lot of people who are not autistic who are behind you as far as their emotional and mature development in life. So the question is, do you think, and I know this is it's an awkward thing for me to even ask, do you think you are a better person because you've had to deal with this stuff? Did it make you more of a grown-up? Has it been beneficial in some way? Is there a silver lining?
Very much. So I think being bullied in high school and middle school, being treated like garbage by lectures, being ignored by people really made me the person I am today, and my parents as well, because they instilled values into me of hard work, kindness, respect. A lot of my generation, the TikTok generation, as I like to call them, they don't have those values as often as they should. All they care about is whining, complaining, and moaning and groaning. I bet that guy who made that complaint was probably a Gen Zer going off.
Could be. We won't know because Steven's too much of a coward to expose that person right now. So we'll never know. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. There's a lot of truth to that. Now you talk about all those things. Is forgiveness in your toolbox? I mean, the people who bullied you, do you hold bitterness or resentment towards them?
No, not at all. If anything, I hold resentment towards the parents because it's my opinion that everything starts in the home. If the parents are mean and rude, worship certain groups, butt kiss certain people like Chris Tyson for the purpose of relevancy, or Andrew Tate, more likely than not, the child's going to have bad values, bad morals, and choose to bully others.
You know, that Chris Tyson thing, I wanted to talk, or Ava Tyson, or whatever the person is now. Definitely want to talk about that because I do think I'm not really completely well versed in this story. And we'll probably talk about that after you're offline, unless you're comfortable talking about that. But that's not what you're here to talk about. But on the subject of the parents, I would forgive them too, because listen, I had terrible parents. They lost me at a racetrack when I was 3 years old. I mean, physically lost their kid, and I was gone for a week. That's terrible parenting. But I've learned that nobody is a good parent. There's no book or manual that really teaches anybody how to be a good parent, and it's like the most difficult job, and most of us have it thrust upon us before we're ready for it. So I hold some forgiveness for the parents too. I understand what you're saying, that the parents are the reason generally that bullying gets overlooked or bad behavior gets overlooked, but realize that they were probably children of parents who were inadequate too. It's like it's a human thing. It's been since we walked out of the water. It's been hard. We've been just passing down generational fucked upness down the line. So, are you? You mentioned Chris Tyson. It's Ava Tyson, right? I'll get called out if I misname the person.
Ava Chris Tyson, I think, is the name now.
Call him Chris. He doesn't get names like that doing the crap he did.
Well, here's the thing that I was thinking about, and again, I'm not well versed in this, but because of the trans element in the story, I think it's being treated differently. Because from what I understand, there was no actual physical sex involved. There were comments made online, right? And we're talking about between a 20-year-old and as young as 15, but some of these people were 17-year-old. Now, if this was just a guy, or let's just say it was a woman, or a female, a 20-year-old female making comments to a 17-year-old boy online, we wouldn't say, oh, well, this person needs to be hung and take out and hung and dried. But because there's a trans and a homosexual element to it, all of a sudden it's like people are more outraged by it. Any thoughts on that, or am I dead wrong?
No, you're right. Right. The internet's divided over this right now. On one hand, we have people reprimanding Ava Chris, because, like I said, they don't get names like that doing the crap they do, and rightfully so. I think everyone, if they pull stunts like that, should be hanged at the gallows, figuratively, of course. And we have another side who cares more that certain streamers are being reprimanded, or not using Chris's preferred name, and not necessarily the allegations. And it's absurd. It's my opinion that no matter what you identify as, what gender you are, or whether or not you choose to identify with the LGBTQ community, which I don't even have anything against, you should be reprimanded the same way for the crap you do and held
Right.
accountable. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Everybody should be treated equal on that.
I do think that there's some added heat though. I think from the public though, because he is a trans person. Yeah, there's definitely some inflated animosity there for sure.
Absolutely, I think there is. Now, in your situation here, with the sports thing, I'm talking about now. Are you paying attention to the Olympics? Are you covering the Olympics for the sports publication? The sports column is where you'll find your sports column, sportscol.com, and you can look up our writers, and there's Caden's picture all the way towards the bottom of there. You click on that, and you'll see all his articles. Are you covering the Olympics?
I might write an article about the Olympics today, not necessarily the events, but one incident where one of the athletes got sent home and disqualified for going out of the encampment and partying is, in my opinion, that's childish behavior. You made an agreement to stay in the encampment, focus on the sport. If you want to order food, go ahead. You don't go out and party when you make those obligations.
Yeah, no, you know what? And I agree with you. I think if you are inclined to party, you wait until after you get the medal, and you're on your way home, and that's when the time for the cell. I think we've forgotten about waiting till postponing, all that kind of celebration. We want to celebrate all the time. We want to celebrate the achievements before we get them. I think whether they win or lose, the time for celebration is after the games are over, and time for partying, I guess, is the word better than celebration, is after the games are over. I totally agree with that. I'm not following the games at all, but I haven't. It's not because of any political stuff at all, or you got to boycott it, and none of that. It's just I haven't cared about the Olympics since my youth. Mark Spitz, I don't know if they know that name, but Mark Spitz won records for swimming, 7 gold medals or something. That was the last time I paid attention. I'm not sure if it was 76 or 72, but a very long time ago. But the patriotic element of it seemed to be lost. It's like people used to get all wrapped up in the flag at Olympic time, and now it seems like counter to that. It's like people want to say, well, we're not celebrating our people, and again, I'm not following it much, but it just seems like there's a bias against the Olympics on the patriotic front. The flag wavers in America have seemed to abandon it a bit. Do you have a perspective on that or not?
I would say there's no room for politics in sports, in my opinion. Like you said, sports used to be about the game and patriotism. Now it's all about whether the athlete is supporting a certain cause people like, whether or not we should protest outside an event and topple a stadium or whatnot and think that's okay because it's First Amendment, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
It should be just the game and nothing else.
Are you a Penn State sports guy? Do you follow the Lions?
Guarantees me.
I'm in Kent, Ohio. I meant Kent State University.
Oh, Kent State. I thought you said Penn State. Oh, that's a total different thing. So disregard my thing about not wanting to be there. That was so what's the team? I don't even know Kent State.
Do they have shooting classes there?
I doubt. Yeah, I doubt.
Yeah, that's another reason. Well, I don't think you never know. Neil Young available? Is Neil Young available to bail me out here? No, it's it's a whole other thing. Now, so pro football season. I guess the preseason should be starting any day now, right? Preseason games. You follow pro football?
As a matter of fact, I am. Colonels particularly, but I'm actually going to be going to a Bears game with my family next week.
Wow. Wow. So, and that's in Chicago? Or
Buffalo, New York, actually. It's Bills against Bears.
all right, very cool. Do you bet at all? Do you pick? The...
Not as a broke college student, I don't. I want to eventually, though. That's on my adult bucket list.
We're not encouraging gambling here, but because it can be a very addictive behavior.
Yeah.
We're not encouraging that, but we are kind of. We are planning on doing. Last year, we tried doing our football picks, and I was one of the guys. And because I've been out of it for so long, I was just like throwing darts at the schedule and say, "Oh yeah, this is the person I pick." But if you're so inclined and want to come back like once a week to do football picks, consider that because we could use somebody. Yeah, very cool. I'll be in touch with you about that then. Anyway, so what are you working on now? As far do you have a column you're working on for SportsCom?
Not currently. Like I said, I might do one today on that swimmer, but I'm mainly focused on getting ready for online school and the advocacy work I'm doing. I'm been mainly focused on voter registration in my county as of recent for the upcoming election, because this is definitely one of the most important elections in American history.
They'll tell you that you know what? Get used to hearing that. When you're my age, they'll still be saying that. If America is still here, you'll still be hearing that every election. This is the most important election of our life. It always is.
I've heard it every year since 9/11.
Yeah. This is the most important breath I'm taking right now. And then the next breath is the most important breath I'm taking. So, yeah. But will you be 21 in time for the election?
I'm 20 currently, and legally I can vote. So
oh yeah, that's right. It's 18. What am I saying? I'm being a dope. I'm showing my age because I first voted when I was 18. We had to vote when I was 18. But I mean 21. You had to be 21 when I was coming up as a young man. So yeah, I should have. It's foggy. It's morning time. Give me a break, Caden. Stop bullying me. You're coming here and you're beating up on me. So
he deserves it. It's okay.
What was that from the peanut gallery? I'm sorry.
Did you deserve it? It's okay.
I spoil my children, as you can see. They talk when they should listen. You're a fan of The Godfather, Caden?
Yeah, I've seen.
Good for you. These two communists, whatever they are, have not seen the greatest movie of all time.
I've seen parts of it. It's just to me the movie is just slow and meandering, and it's like, all right, what are we doing?
It's really long.
I feel that the pacing in the story is not great.
Well, you probably, and let me just say, you've probably seen the trilogy all mashed into one, where they take parts of one, parts of they make the three. No,
no. I've seen.
All right, well, I'm going to take you out and have you whacked after the show.
I've just always thought that it's a boring, slow movie.
One more statement like that, and your brains are going to be all over Josh Dweeb.
Hey, Rod, Matt, you guys need to have an HR meeting on the roof.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, Caden, it's been a pleasure to have you on here. I will be in touch with you about possibly doing a weekly sports pick segment on this show. It's been a pleasure having you here. Any final thoughts on what we can do to increase autism awareness?
I would say, and thanks for having me. It was truly a pleasure just to go out and advocate for your cause in a better way. Go on platforms like this to discuss whatever story you have in the sense of autism or any cause for that matter. Write to your letters of Congress, members of Congress, and government officials and tell them to pass more bills for autism and autism awareness.
Yeah, and I might be a member of Congress, so write to me. Anyway, here's there's a bunch of links for Caden in the links there down there. theartofautism.com, thesportscall.com, and his Facebook page. If you want to get to know Caden a little better, we hope people will support you on your mission and continue good luck. Thank you for being here. Thanks for getting up early, really early, and being part of the program. You've been a good guest. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Have a great day. Bye for now.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. So, Stephen, did you deal with bullying? No, you were too big and you were kicking ass, even though, right? And you weren't
No,
always in a chair.
I was bullied till high school. I had a
Yeah.
wheelchair from like 10 years old. Yeah, I was bullied pretty heavily in elementary and middle school. And yeah, that was rough. But once I got into high school and moved states, that helped.
But you kicked ass though, didn't you? When you were a tough guy.
In high school, I did. In high school, I started working out and kicking
Can
ass.
you have a
A lot
word
of
with
people-
Ron about this Godfather thing for me? Since you're
Ron,
a
I
tough guy.
totally agree with you. It's slow.
Oh, fuck
it's
both of you
cold.
guys. You know what? We stand corrected on the Louis C.K. thing. Came out July 12th, right? Which is weeks ago. Why don't I know about it? Why? And do we know where I can find it? Is it like on Netflix? Is it on HBO? Where the hell is it? No?
I think that's on Hulu, actually.
Oh, that's why I can't watch Hulu. I don't have that anymore. I gave up on it. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I definitely want to watch it, but it's like I got mixed emotions.
It's on YouTube
where?
for $3.90. It's on YouTube for $3.99.
Oh, that's not bad. I'll just pay the $3.99. I don't have to join anything. I'm all for that. I think
This says
movie
it came
should
out
do it.
last year.
No, sorry, not sorry.
This has it as a IMDb has it as a 2023 film.
Well,
maybe
it was made in 23. It looks like, but it came out July 12th.
Yeah, how come? Yeah, everybody is sharing it today, like and they're sharing it really weird. I hate that when even any of the clips where people are sitting there shooting their television from the back of the room, you're getting room audio, and it's hard to hear. There's no captions or any of that stuff, and it's like your television screen from 20 feet away. If you can't just download the clip or get a real video clip of it, it's just frustrating as hell. Have you heard from GD on the boat? GD on the boat? That's what we call him, on the boat.
Yes.
You have.
Last I heard when I was talking to before I sent the complaint he sent me to you. No, I'm just kidding. He said,
"Oh, he's the one who sent that complaint." That's funny.
No, but he said his performance got great responses, been stopped and people are reciting lines to him, and he was getting ready to take a bike tour and a beer tasting.
Bike tour
and beer tasting
in Alaska. Now, are you familiar with this story, Into the Wild? This hippie kid.
I feel like I've read the book.
Yeah. He was just like he was visiting all these wild places, and then decided to go up to Alaska. He crossed a river that was very mild when he crossed it, found a bus to live in. I guess it was southern Alaska or whatever, but overstayed his, I guess he wanted to go back, and then the river he crossed over was a raging, whitewater thing, and got stuck up there and ended up eating some poison berries and dying.
Oops.
I don't know if I don't know if there's a moral to that story, but I like to get away from. I live in a place that's far away from society and civilization and all the hustle and bustle. But I think that's taking it way too far to extreme, where you gotta try to eat stuff that animals are eating and hope that it's not poison.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand camping and like sleeping in tents. It's like, you know what? We made beds and mattresses for a reason, because they're fucking comfortable. That's what I want to sleep on.
I don't know. I enjoy camping. I don't know. I enjoy the tent on the ground and the fire and not hearing or dealing with people.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But are you putting up the tent? Are you doing?
Yeah, I can put up a tent.
You can pitch a tent.
I'm doing one. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, I bet you are. Because it just seems to me that you are a freeloading, like, lazy scammer who's just trying to I don't know, bilk the government out of money while you fake this injury.
Well, I
So,
figured if Ukraine can do it, I can do it.
who?
Ukraine and Israel both. They can do it. I can do it.
Oh, because they're getting money from the government.
Yeah.
You can get money from the government. Um,
Well, actually,
all
I'm
right.
still waiting for the government to send me guns. I've requested guns instead of money, but they said no. I was like, fine.
We gotta support defense contractors. That's what we're doing.
Well, yeah, that is definitely what we're doing. Oh, Eisenhower warned us about this. Again, I hate to get on the Eisenhower stuff, but I've been thinking a lot about I Like Ike lately. My brother informed me the other, because I was under the impression that both my parents were hardcore Republicans my whole life. My brother told me the other day that my father voted for Kennedy. My father was definitely very much a moderate. I'm surprised by that. I was shocked by that. But coming back to something I said that was misinformation a couple of weeks ago when I talked about Kamala being probably the first person that would have to certify her own election. And GD pointed out that Al Gore did it, but also Nixon did it in 1960, had to certify his own law. So I forgot about that one. But so my father voted against Nixon in 1960, but I know he voted for him in 68, which is very weird. I guess Johnson
Boy,
was.
he picked the wrong time to vote for him.
If you know the alternative at the time, the war became Johnson's war, and Humphrey didn't have a plan on ending the war. I think the war was the key issue, the Vietnam War, and Nixon promised to end the war. Of course, he didn't really do it on his timetable, and he didn't do it according to the plan that he had, peace with honor. It was basically the same stuff. It was Afghanistan, and like any war where we go to invade another country, we're always going to be running with our tail between our legs when it comes to ending the fucking thing, because you can invade a country, but unless you plan on staying there forever, you're never going to be able to get out of there clean without the people you took the country from attacking you on the way out. And that's basically what we saw. But listen, I was 8 years old. I was working for the Nixon campaign as an 8-year-old. Brother didn't know that. But now my father had nothing to do with that. My neighbors were hardcore conservatives. I was recruited into the political world they would give us 1,000 Nixon bumper stickers, kids, and say, go look for Humphrey stickers, tear them off cars. If you can't tear them off, just cover it with this and put these on cars. And that was that was basically what I would do. Like that made a difference. Like, has anybody said, oh, that bumper sticker says I should vote for Nixon. I should vote for Nixon because the bumper sticker says so. It's fucking crazy.
I don't know. Most of the cars here in Indiana, when they have bumper stickers, it's a whole bunch of mixed messages. It's like, don't tread on me. And then like the blue thin line followed by like Trump and then like an Elon Musk sticker. And then coexist with the Jesus loves me. Like, I don't know what to tell anymore. So
briefly before we go to news, Elon Musk has decided that if you use the word weird to insult somebody on Twitter, you're going to get banned. This is the free speech absolutist. It's the N-word. He doesn't have a problem with people throwing around the N-word. He doesn't have people, it's any kind of racial slurs or homophobic slurs or any of that stuff. Calling people weird is going to get you banned now.
I think don't get me wrong. That's bullshit. It shouldn't be a thing to be banned for. But I'm willing to bet it's probably because he was younger and he was autistic. He was probably called weird a lot. It's probably a pain point for him.
Wait, he's on the spectrum? I did not know that.
Oh yeah. He's got a major touch of the tism.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
I just
he's
thought he
got
was
a
weird.
major touch of the apartheid too.
Yeah,
Also
I just thought he was weird. I just thought he was a weird dude. He definitely has had plastic surgery, right, and hair implants and all that kind of stuff.
I'm pretty sure he's had hair implants. I don't know about plastic surgery, but definitely a hair thing for sure.
Yeah, as much as he is against free speech, he has to keep doing stuff like this because it's really the only way that shitter stays in the limelight at all. at this point.
But he keeps insisting that he's not running the company, but then he comes out with these edicts. So, I mean, it's kind of transparent that you are really running the company.
No, I mean, I have found that Twitter does not like free speech because it's one of those things. It's one of those guys is like always yelling about free speech, but then when it comes to it, it's not. And you know, they did the same thing with kids. Like, we love kids so much. We love kids so much. Yeah, you're the ones touching them. That's why you love them so much. It's always.
I know you, and I agreed with you for forever when you were saying that Twitter seems to be the right-wing blogosphere now, and that's not exactly what you said, but I'm paraphrasing. But for the last week and a half, I have seen a majority of the stuff I see is left-wing stuff, like you know, Twitter. I don't know if it's just a reaction to the Harris. It probably is the Harris thing, but it is definitely far more. I'm seeing far more left enthusiasm, more left-wing posts on Twitter now than I've ever seen since Musk is on.
Well, yeah, because now that party is no longer has the old decrepit white guy running,
right?
So, and now the other party does have an old fossil. Who looks even older now, and we know his relationship with women and black people. So I'm sure.
Now, what did you think of Caden? You think Caden is all right? I think Caden gave me a little bit of right wing vibes. No,
no,
I'm wrong.
I don't think he's. I don't think he.
He seemed to be. I know. I want to get to the news, but
he seems to be one of those really high functioning, really intelligent guys with autism, and I almost feel like he looks down on politics. Like,
no, yeah, but he wants to be in political PR. But I think on the trans issue, I think he was taking the opposite. Listen, opposite but same. I was saying equal treatment because this Ava, Chris Tyson, whatever, is getting different treatment because they are trans than a non-trans person, a whatever cisgender person would get, and he was she should be ball and chain for making comments to underage people online. It wasn't like priest pedophilia, like actual touching and fucking. It wasn't
close,
that
though. The messages were pretty gross.
You saw the messages? I haven't. I don't know anything.
Some of them leaked, and it got some of them were graphic. Yeah.
I'll get to the news. Let's continue this after the news because I want to talk about the ambiguity of statutory rape and the inconsistencies on what it means and all that stuff. Not necessarily related to the Tyson thing, but let's talk about that. Go ahead, Al.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has regained weight and appears to have obesity-related health issues such as high blood pressure and diabetes.
Kim's officials are seeking new medicines abroad to address these health problems, South Korea's spy agency informed lawmakers. The 40-year-old Kim, known for heavy drinking and smoking, hails from a family with a history of heart problems. Both his father and grandfather, who ruled North Korea before his 2011 rise to power, died of heart issues. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
President Joe Biden called for Supreme Court reforms, including term limits for justices, a binding code of conduct and ethics rules, and a constitutional amendment to remove presidential immunity from prosecution.
In an op-ed by the Washington Post, Biden wrote, "This nation was founded on a simple yet profound principle. No one is above the law, not the President of the United States, not a justice on the Supreme Court of the United States. No one." Biden advocated for these reforms during remarks at the LBJ Presidential Library in Austin, Texas. Jim Kender reported.
Former South African President Jacob Zuma was officially expelled from the African National Congress, highlighting a significant split between the party once led by Nelson Mandela and the man once chosen to carry its legacy.
The ANC's Secretary General Comrade Fikile Mbalula cited numerous scandals connected to Zuma as the reason for his expulsion. Mbalula mentioned that Zuma will have 21 days to appeal the decision. The MK party labelled Zuma's expulsion from the ANC as akin to a kangaroo court. Benjamin Wright reported. reporting.
Venezuela's opposition declared victory in Sunday's presidential election, setting up a conflict with the government, which earlier announced President Nicolas Maduro as the winner.
Venezuelans and the entire world know what happened, opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez stated in his initial remarks. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado described the margin of Gonzalez's victory as overwhelming based on voting tallies received from campaign representatives from approximately 40% of ballot boxes nationwide. Paul Gomez reporting.
This is the latest news headlines. Terrible music.
Some individuals are overdosing from certain products marketed for weight loss. Federal health officials are warning.
The FDA has received reports of dosing errors involving compounded semaglutide injectable products dispensed in multi-dose vials, leading to patients seeking medical attention or requiring hospitalization, the agency stated. Overdose symptoms include nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, fainting, headache, migraine, and dehydration. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A 12-year-old boy was killed after gunmen on jet skis opened fire at a beach in Cancun, authorities said, marking another instance of deadly violence at a Mexican resort in recent years.
Mexican prosecutors stated that the gunmen were targeting a rival drug dealer on the beach and fled after the shooting. The incident appears to be part of a dispute over drug sales. The boy, a local resident, was apparently lying on a lounge chair on the beach with his family when he was struck by stray bullets. Kyle Norris reporting.
A burning car, which authorities say was pushed into a gully less than a week ago, ignited what is now one of the largest wildfires in California history.
Officials report the park fire has expanded to more than 368,000 acres, making it the sixth largest in the state's history. In CAL FIRE's latest update, officials said the park fire had grown to 368,256 acres and was at 12% containment. This area, about 575 square miles, is almost half the size of Rhode Island, more than 12 times larger than San Francisco County, and slightly bigger than the city of Los Angeles. Lawrence Keller reporting.
2 children were killed and 11 people injured in a stabbing attack at a Taylor Swift-themed event at a dance school in the United Kingdom, police reported.
The 11 injured include 9 children, 6 of whom are in critical condition, and 2 adults who are also in critical condition, according to Merseyside police. The adults appear to have been protecting the children, police said. A 17-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of murder and attempted murder, police stated. Jessica Oakley reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with...
What do you suppose might be the motive for just going to a Taylor Swift? Now, it didn't say if it was a Taylor Swift concert. It said Taylor Swift themed event. I'm not sure what exactly it was, but
I read about this yesterday. They were just doing like it's supposed to be like a celebration of Taylor's music, and they were having this get together. Then this guy came.
I got an idea. I'll take a knife and go stab strangers.
Yeah, that's in England. That happens in England because of they don't have guns really.
Right. But I'm just trying to grasp at what the motivation might be. Trying to get famous. I want to go to jail for murder.
Hey, that's entirely possible, man.
Yeah.
If you got an AR-15, you're probably in the back of your head, you're thinking, I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to just shoot my way out of this. But with a knife, you pretty much know you're going to get apprehended, no? Or you can assume, I would think. I'm not going to get away with this, right? Am I wrong? Oh, a brick wall.
I don't know. Yeah, it could be for fame, though, man. Like, here in Fort Wayne, about a month ago, this guy went live on Facebook, and he was like, "Yeah, I got a gun. I'm gonna light up this joint in the bathroom, and I go out and shoot somebody." And then he walked out of the bathroom on live stream, shot somebody, and then got arrested.
And now he's in jail. But now he wasn't. Because odds are, when you do it with a gun, if you don't get away with it, you're going to get shot and killed by law enforcement. Those are the two things. Either you get away with it or you're dead.
I like to picture sword fights happening in these countries with no guns.
Yeah. But, and the Taylor, like, there are no other events where you could, if it were just for fame, I don't know. It's just a very confusing thing to me.
There's that old Chris Rock joke. And I think it was after Columbine, he was making a Columbine joke. And he's like, can't people just be crazy anymore?
Yeah.
We always had to have like some reasoning. It's like, what happened? It's like, can't you just be crazy?
Yeah, Obviously, crazy is behind is the major overriding deciding factor here is insanity, without a doubt. We have an epidemic of that. So the thing in Venezuela is curious to me because this Gonzalez guy. Now, this we're in a time where you don't know what to fucking believe. Anything. How do we know? How do we know for sure that what the votes were? There's no way for us in America to really. We know what's being reported, but we don't have any idea of how. But everybody is reporting that Gonzalez beat Maduro as far as vote counts, and they don't have an electoral college. They have one vote, that kind of situation. But how do we know that it was a landslide for the guy who didn't win? How do we know that? Do we just trust? You're muted. You fucking mute.
Sorry. No, I was saying I don't think you can. There's just no way to know. You have to trust it. Like even in America, you just have to trust that the 100-some people counting the votes or whatever are accurate.
It's saying you just have to trust. It's not the time in civilization that doesn't ring true with a lot of people. No matter where you stand ideologically, you just have to trust.
I don't think you can do it any other way. I mean, what way can you possibly track live votes like that? I mean, with everyone being able to see the number of votes, I don't think that's possible.
I know. Well, this is the confusion here. Now, that he actually, I think, enforced the military to stop the vote, Maduro, because he knew he was losing. The optics of that make it seem like, yeah, you can believe that he actually lost. If he's willing to go to that length, call out the military to stop the vote, I'm losing. That pretty much seals it for me. But I'm sure people will question it. And what do you do about it? Do you just let it be? You'll just let a country in your hemisphere, say, just go and just declare themselves the winner? I mean, we do it all the time in Russia. We allow Putin to do it, but do we not interfere? We just say, "Oh, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you." Nothing.
Outside of being the police of the world, I mean, that's the only other option, right?
That's a sticky situation.
It's not unprecedented. Like Crimea, this is the reason Putin hates Hillary Clinton, because Hillary did get involved in making sure that Putin kept his fucking hands off that election, and that's what made him so determined to interfere in 2016. So it's not like we haven't interfered in foreign elections before. If you think that's the case, there's a history book waiting for you at the library. Go. So,
or just a Google search.
All right, you don't care. I'm fine with that. If GD was here, he'd have something to say. He'd say, "Well, when I was in the ink spot, yeah." Now, do we know anything about this guy Doug that GD is dating in Alaska?
No. Now he keeps that part of his life quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GD did say something about not needing his toys there, though. So I mean,
he did. Was I just not listening? Because I don't listen to him a lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Well, that's just conjecture, and he's just trying to throw us off.
Yeah. He's really got 3 wives.
He just has a suitcase filled with 2 of those.
I would love to follow him with the camera, just with a bag full of dildos, just going through the airport. I just feel like the TSA agents' faces would be great.
This was why I became a fan of Stanhope. I didn't even know about Stanhope, but not right after, but after 9/11, they started doing like much deeper checks on baggage and stuff like that. And he didn't need to even bring a suitcase. He was just going for like a one-night thing, but he intentionally filled up a suitcase full of dildos and sex toys just to have TSA open it and have everybody online watch as they go through and pull out dildos and whatever, clit suckers and And that I'm like that guy's pretty cool. I ought to follow that guy. Do we have show business news? Oh yeah. What is that? That looks weird.
Those are tentacle dildos.
Yeah, that's a tentacle dildo.
That's weird with the pointed thing. I don't know.
That makes me uncomfortable.
It has the same point as a carrot, if I may. A callback to a couple of weeks ago when we were talking carrot stuff.
Scorpion.
It looks like one of them.
Looks like a fishing lure.
Yeah,
I do have entertainment. I got a couple headlines.
Let's do showbiz. Well, I gotta wait until the music, and then we can, because I can't just put the glasses on in front of everybody. That's like exposing it.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showbiz. Showbiz.
Showbiz.
It's showbiz, and it's hump day, everybody. So put on your ladies' lingerie, find someone in a wheelchair, and punch that motherfucker in the face.
That's what I was planning on doing later on today. I don't know. What are you looking in my diary?
We know that you like fighting people. If you can fight with one eye, I guess I'll have to take the other.
That's right.
He told me if I can fight with no legs, they'll just take them both. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck, man? Chill out.
I'm going to pull off your legs and beat you with them.
I know. That's what I'm waiting for.
I'm going to beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
So this is Richard Gadd from Baby Reindeer, the Netflix series that's, I guess, somewhat autobiographical of his time being a comic and having a stalker. So he's getting ready to testify, and he said he's ready to testify because it's, this is something close to him and that he really wants to win, basically.
But let me clear this up. I thought the lawsuit it's by the so-called stalker, and she wasn't. At least this is my perception. She wasn't contesting the fact that she was a stalker. She was contesting the fact that the girl who played her was far more obese than she was, and she didn't like the way she was portrayed.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. Will she win? I don't know. Because
I don't know. And honestly, if you compare them, they're close to the same size. So I don't think she has much of a case.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about this or what, but
I couldn't stand the movie. And you know what? I like English comedy, and I like this guy. He seemed like the worst open micer that I've ever what is this? He's not really a comedian. He's got who called it the other day? The disease. Rob White was telling me that Fat Jay says these open micers who think they're funny and just have nothing to offer. He calls it the disease. This is what I thought of this guy. Like, why is this guy even calling himself a comedian? He's a guy who just addicted to going to open mics. Again, I'm a big fan of British comedy. I didn't find anything he did funny.
Yeah, I watched maybe 2 episodes, and I wasn't that interested in it. It wasn't for me. Have you checked out the Gentleman on Netflix?
No.
If you like English, it's a Guy Ritchie show. But if you like English humor and like some good action. Check out The Gentleman. It's 8 episodes, and the show is really solid. It's a solid story.
Where do you find time to watch all these shows?
I make it happen.
Wow, make it happen.
Yeah, I don't, believe it or not, I don't watch as much TV as you would think that I do, but when I want to go watch something, I got to dedicate it. I got to go do this.
Yeah. It's like people think because I have informed opinions about stuff that people think I spend my whole life like in the politics thing. I don't. I mean, I have a very full life. I'm producing YouTube videos all fucking day, and then dealing with consulting and freelancing and all that stuff. My day is pretty much full after this program ends. I got like lots of other things going on. I try to, in the meantime, stay abreast, but people come off with the opinion that, man, you must spend your whole fucking life on stuff that doesn't matter to most people. Not true. So I get what you're saying. The appearances that you spend your whole life watching television are not exactly accurate.
Yeah, and I find now, especially with time being, important, like if I'm going to watch something, I want it to be good and capture my attention. I'm not going to sit there and go
My
through.
problem with we discussed this the other day is finding, because there are things you say, well, that might be good. Well, I'm not taking a chance on might be good. I have to know if I click on this thing and start watching it, I have to know that it's going to hold my attention. Otherwise, I just spent an hour looking through fucking thumbnails of shows and movies that I couldn't decide on, and now I'm going to pick this one and waste 15 minutes and give up.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, like I like playing video games, but I don't have enough time really to sit down and play too much much as I like to. But I mean, I think that's a good thing because I'm not just sitting around playing video games. Because like you said, Matt, like the other stuff that I got to do during the day, then my nights, it's either like if I'm doing open mics and shit like that, that's time consuming. So then by the time I get home, then by the time I get home, it's like I don't want to do shit. I just want to smoke, hang out with my wife, and she'll be like, "Do you want to watch something?" Like, I don't give a shit. Put something on.
Yeah.
But I will say, if this is with the Olympics going on, if you like to get baked, you got to put surfing on. It's magnificent. It is magnificent.
All right. Let me just back on this story. Is the lawsuit in the UK? Because it's a Netflix show, right? Netflix produced it. Netflix is based in Albuquerque, I think Albuquerque, U.S. It would be weird if they're suing Netflix in the UK. Like, so what?
Yeah, I believe it is happening in the UK.
That's very weird. I don't know how international law works on lawsuits and stuff, but
yeah. So
you know what? After we were talking about him the other day, my feed was full of him. I know he's agreed to go back to Marvel's, superhero stuff, and that's the reason. But it felt like Facebook and Twitter were spying on me again.
Yeah. So this is speaking of him and this Doctor Doom thing. His rumored payday to bring him back, they're paying him like $80 million to bring him back, to be a part of all this. And that doesn't even count the incentives or like the escalators, as they call them, in the contract, because he's going to get a piece of the back end, because that's what he did with the other Marvel movies that he was in, which financially is the best thing you could do as an artist, get all that fucking money. But yeah, he's going to make a shit ton of money off of that movie. And if it's a hit, I guess he's never going away.
Yeah. So the moral of the story, if you're good at what you do, quit your job and they'll pay you more to come back. Steven's about to quit this show so that he can actually get a nickel, but I'm not coughing up a nickel. I am paying hardball. We're sticking at 4 cents. 4 cents is our final offer, and that's as high as we will go.
Well, that's about all I can make until the government decides to, take away
until your scam runs out. Your freeloading scam routine until they get actually video of you running from the chair to the pool and doing your
alleged video. That's AI generated. You can't prove it.
Your little cannonball move there that you do every day. You run out to the diving board. You do a triple Foley or whatever they call it. We know.
That is none of your concern what I do when I'm not on camera.
Can you imagine just being paid $80 million to do a fucking project?
I'd be cool with $80 to do a project. Are you kidding me?
Right. It's so much money, and he made like so much money off the Iron Man and Avengers movie. It's just astounding how much is wrapped up in all of that. And
It's just, you know what? Greed is a very weird thing. And listen, I'm not accusing him personally of being greedy, but that's all seems like a lot of money. But when you start making that money, it's like, when is it enough? When do you start saying, you know what? I got everything I need to keep my generations of my family wealthy and taken care of long after I'm gone. When do I start using this money for the good, foundations or whatever, trying to do? I'm not saying give it all away, but build something that will benefit humanity in a bigger way. Or I'm just going to fucking put it in the bank and have. I know he's got ranches and land, and like he is set for life, not just for him, but for his grandchildren and their grandchildren. They never have to fucking work a day in their life. That $80 million, what is he going to do with that? Just like go to the Papoosatuck and order everything they got?
yeah, I guess
He's gonna go buy all the white weed.
I would do if I was in that situation, I would do the Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker made 3 movies. And I think he's in probably some other ones too, but he's got like 3 main movies on his resume, and those are the Rush Hour movies. And he made so much money off of that, because I remember back in the day he was commanding big paydays, and those movies got made, and he just lives his fucking life because he's made so
Good
much
for
money.
him.
Yeah, and he just does comedy. He shows up and he still does comedy. You don't hear about him, but he's living the fucking life because he took all that money, I guess, invested it, and fucking living his life. I would love that option.
And I very much appreciate people who
projects
do.
to be set.
There are people who do charity work without publicizing it, and that's probably a good way to do it. But I think when you get to the point where they're publicizing the fact that you're getting 80 million and change and extras thrown into stuff, I think you should kind of say, well, wait a minute, folks. Don't start the Marie Antoinette marches and burn down my fucking castle. I am putting this to my foundation, and we're again, I'm not saying they should give it all away, but that money can do good things, and you don't need it. It's just like extra.
Yeah, I like what Robin Williams did when he was in movies, because he always made a ton of money on his movies, and he would make sure that they would hire homeless people. He'd make sure people were getting fair pay. He'd take pay cuts for it. Like that's somebody I feel like if you're gonna be in Hollywood that you should kind of look up to. Somebody who cared about everybody on the crew and people in the town that they're shooting in, not just let me have my paycheck.
Yeah,
Right,
and
but
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just
going
gonna
to say, we complain. I complain about where trickle down stuff goes wrong, because in theory, on paper, trickle down economics going to works, but in practice, it never works, and it's because these corporations just take the money, and these billionaires just take the money, and they don't do anything positive with it. We never bring that same complaint to these mega multi-millionaires who are basically doing the same thing, and they are the ones complaining as loud as I am about corporations doing it. I'm not want to single out Robert Downey Jr., but a lot of these guys who just make money hand over fist and don't put it back into the system in any way. But they're like me. They notice it when corporations do it, but they don't walk the walk, talk the talk.
No.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, at least with Robin Williams, he reached a point in his career where he was making all that money, but then he kind of went the indie movie route and started making some interesting films instead of just like cashing in and cashing in and cashing in.
Yeah,
because he easily could have.
But you can't blame the guy either. If we were in his position, I'm sure it'd be the same. 80 million, sign me up.
Do the same. Absolutely. I would, once you've made enough money, then it's time to really kind of try to look for stuff you really want to do rather than stuff you're being forced to do to make more money. Like another Die Hard picture, fuck that, right? Like, Bruce Willis, he went into making stuff like, I'm thinking that Paul Newman movie that he made. I can't remember what the name of it.
Oh,
Nobody's Fool.
Yes, Nobody's Fool.
And films like that were lower but quality work you wanted to do rather than stuff that is just appealing to pop culture.
Yeah, and that's not a bad movie either. Nobody's Fool. It's pretty good.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
especially that kid. His name is Whacker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got Melanie Griffith tits in it too. So that's
Joe Thomas looks like he's got a maraca in his hand, but he's just making a fist and it's a beach ball blurred behind him or something.
Yeah. I know this isn't really entertainment, but this is just a really dumb story that I found. It popped up from Fox News. So Joe Thomas was on he went on Libs of TikTok because a lady was complaining about being at a restaurant and they stand at noon for the flag. You're supposed to stand for the flag to honor people or whatever. And he went on some rampage, but the restaurant was Mission Barbecue. That's like kind of their thing. They do that they do it like twice a day. And yeah, like I said, I just shared it because it was a dumb and pointless story. Because he's basically like, "This is America, man. This is what we do."
I think we're going to implement that on this show twice a day on the show. We're going to raise the flag and we're just going to have to salute and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Just because.
Yeah, have you been to a Mission Barbecue?
No, I haven't. I never leave my house.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the food is not bad. I mean it's fucking barbecue, but yeah, if you're not used to it, when you go in there around noon and like 7, it gets really weird because it's like let's do this and it's like okay, I guess. So that's why if I go there,
to a VFW and they do the weird prayer thing before they do everything.
Yes,
not the prayer, but the little invocation they do.
Yeah, they do that. The VFW up here, like at 7:00. It's like for the unknown soldier and stuff like that,
and the aborted kids.
Yeah, and you know what happens? Like every time they do that, you know what immediately pops in my head? I think about a scene from Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry David's at the golf club, and the guy asks him, "He's like, hey Larry, will you pray for my father?" And Larry's like, what's my prayer gonna do? I mean, you're his son. I mean, if God's getting prayers, wouldn't he answer yours before mine? Like, I need Larry's.
Well, this, with the Olympic stuff, all these people asking me to kind of get involved. Like, if you think they're mocking God, but you don't trust God to deal with it, you want me to deal with it. That's like, are you fucking kidding me? Why, you say trust in God and believe in God and all that stuff, but you don't trust God to deal with the people who are mocking him on his own. He needs me to step in? Me? What am I going to do? Take them up to the roof? I mean, poke their eye out, whatever I do, my thing.
Slap you with supple hands?
Right. That's does God not have more useful tools than me? Is the question I have.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of reboots and remakes, they're making Scream number 7, and this one is going to focus more on Sydney's story. So here we go again. I guess they're trying to cash in on this the horror movie craze that's going on. I know like 2 years ago they released like Scream 6. It was like, I don't know. I didn't even watch it, but if you're interested in this franchise, you're getting a 7th movie.
Now, this has been going on for like 30 years, right? 30 years, this franchise? Oh, no, I'm overstating.
Something like that.
It's been going on since the 90s.
Is that a modern picture of Neve Campbell?
Yes.
Damn, she looks good.
This was.
a
I was just about to say this. The only good reason for Scream 7 is a new scary movie.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it's a good thing.
But damn, she looks good for 50, whatever she is. She's got to be in her 50s.
Oh yeah,
Very, very impressive.
Do you remember
Money
in
can't
the?
buy happiness, but it can buy smooth skin.
It was like the late '90s or early 2000s when, like after Scary Movie, they started making like some other companies start making every fucking like satire movie. It was like epic movie, you know, this movie,
superhero movies.
Yeah, and you know most of them weren't good. I can't imagine like going back and watching one now. It's got to be horrible.
It's
but I will.
cringy, but it's still kind of funny.
I've never seen either any Scream or any Scary Movie. I'm sorry.
Now I will defend the movie Not Another Teen Movie. That is funny as hell.
So good. So
never saw that either. Fuck me.
Actually, I think what was it called? A superhero
I've seen The
movie
Godfather
with Drake Bell. Superhero movie with Drake Bell where they did it was like a parody of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that had
one was
Leslie
pretty good,
Nielsen
too.
in it.
Yeah,
So-
that one was pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, most of them are kind of like, stop.
Matt, I think Not Another Teen Movie is on Netflix. You should watch that. It's
All right.
funny. It's yeah. It
Who's
has,
the star of it? Is somebody I would know?
It's an ensemble. Chris Evans is in it. Captain America, he's in it. You have Randy.
He's got
Quaid.
real muscles, right? Not fake muscles.
Yeah, he's got real muscles, and apparently some. He's had some face work done because you in recent pictures, and he's in another movie too recently. Is like you've had some work done, and now he's wearing the eyeliner and things like that, and his hairline is like way too perfect. So, yeah, it's weird seeing Chris Evans like that now.
Yeah. All right. Is that it for showbiz? Oh,
Hey,
Bink, Danning Bink, Bink. What the fuck am I looking at, man?
The prompt for this was yeah, I still have the prompt here. A stomach at a bank trying to get a car loan from a barrel of legs.
I think maybe you put in Bink instead of bank.
No, I put in bank, and AI does this. AI will do that.
I think
We're
Ron
worried about
would
AI
not-
taking over the world, and it can't even say bank.
I think Ron would prefer a Bink rather than a bank. He seems like more interested in beans than money. Or maybe it's just a German word for bank. I don't know. No, Deutsche Bank is bank, not Bink. I don't know.
So this
All
is
right.
this has been Hump Day Showbiz. Get yourself some lube and enjoy your Wednesday, everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was showbiz.
Woo!
If I may transition back.
No, you got to be a man.
Okay, all right. I was hoping to transition back to this conversation, not necessarily specific to this Mr. Beast, Ava Tyson, Chris Tyson controversy. It's the idea of statutory rape probably should be on a case-by-case basis. We have a hard line at 18. There are many cases, I looked it up yesterday, many cases of 18-year-olds, guys who went to jail for having relationships with girls who were 17 and close enough to 18. Like the kid just turned 18 and all of a sudden he was arrested. There's a very famous case in Georgia where a guy got 20 years. He was 18 and 2 months. The girl was 17, about to turn 18, and he went to jail for that. Now, if she were 18 and he was 17, probably nothing would happen. If he were trans and the victim were a boy 17, I think society would treat it much different. Oh, it's much more outrageous now. And this Tyson case has me thinking that, like, we're definitely, if that case was between two heterosexual cisgender people, I don't think the outrage would be because he didn't preach. They didn't consummate anything. There was no touching feeling. It was online inappropriate chat. That's not something people lose their livelihoods over or just get like ready to get hung over.
It should be when some of them are 15, 14 years old and you know better. Because there's a difference between being 18 and dating a 17-year-old and the parents get pissed off or whatever and they call the cops, the guy gets arrested or the girl gets mad or whatever. That's a shitty situation, sure. But you're a public figure in the public eye, one, you already know you got to watch your step. But then to go over and beyond and say, yeah, I knew they were minors. I didn't touch them, but we only talked about what I do to them. Like that's like 2 degrees from just doing it. You know,
I don't know that that's what happened. I watched the video, and the one guy he was really upset about the fact that the guy, this Chris Tyson person, kept calling him Dad, and he was younger, and he's like, that made me uncomfortable. He didn't say anything about what I would do to you or any of that stuff. So if that's the case, that definitely ups the ante a little bit. I think I reject the idea that if you're a public person, you're not allowed to do the same things that other people do. I kind of
see it. I kind of see it as like if you are messaging somebody that's underage, you know, trans or not, kind of like what Steven said. It's almost it's like a step for serial killers, because when serial killers start, they start with small animals because they don't have the strength to actually do a person yet. And why wouldn't it almost would be the same for somebody that's into younger people? You start with chatting because maybe you don't have the gall to do it, and that gives you the strength over time to finally do it. So, that's a bit of a stretch, but it kind of makes sense to me that like if you got to start somewhere.
Well,
it doesn't mean that he would do something or she would do something. It doesn't matter. It's just if you're starting with the chatting, and it's a slippery slope, I think, on that.
So one of these messages was like a message to a 15-year-old boy about gay hentai porn.
I don't even know what that means.
It's like, well, the tentacle.
The what?
The tentacle dildos that Ron just showed. Those dildos that he showed are for people who are into the hentai, the anime porn, because the anime porn gets weird with tentacles and claws and
Wow. I don't know. Hentai
a lot of those cartoon shows show like rape.
Hentai is cartoons. It's
really
cartoons.
It's cartoon porn, but it's super graphic, super.
And there's a word. I mean, hentai. I mean, I don't know. Is that a new word? Am I supposed to really? Is that in Webster's dictionary?
No, it's been a word for it.
Yeah, it's been around for a bit.
Fuck me. I don't know. Have official meaning. Okay, so he sent this kid what he should look at hentai porn. Is that what the?
Well, he was complaining. He was talking to the kid about complaining that there wasn't enough gay hentai porn out there.
That doesn't look all that. Like I mean, if you look at Betty Boop characters from the 1920s, she was far more sexualized than that.
I can't
show you this real stuff.
Yeah, no, please don't.
We'll send you some links later.
I understand that you can't show the real stuff, but if you can't show the real, there's no point in showing this because this doesn't look that bad to me.
No, okay. Well, so if this is level 1 for hentai, the stuff that he's referencing would be like 9 or 10.
So is it all porn? Hentai is all porn cartoons? Is that what it is?
Hentai is a style of Japanese pornographic anime and manga which originated in Japan.
I'm not long for this world. I don't belong here. God, hit me with an asteroid now, please. Please.
You just hear a tink on the roof, and he's like, not today.
I feel like I need
This is a mild picture.
Yep, see, that's like a 3. That's a 3 on the list.
I have no idea what to make of that. Like, she's into fish, lobsters?
That is a mermaid taking care of a swimmer on a dock via cunnilingus.
Very weird.
Now, again, this is like a 3 on the fucked up
And
meter that is
how hard
hentai.
how hard does the scale go to 10 or does it just go to 5? I mean, where
it goes
you
to
say
10, but at 10 you got to wash your eyes.
Yeah,
it's
I
bad.
feel like I
don't watch
I
it. I'm not
feel
a
like I
fan
need
of
a
it.
brain
I've just
cleanser
seen
just
it.
after that. I need to have
Just
like
wait till later.
yeah.
There's a lot of that too. Yeah, there's a lot of that in there.
What? No, I meant like a rag going through my ear with bleach on it.
Okay, that makes more sense.
No, I'm
Whoa,
sorry about
clip it. I'm hitting B. That's
Yeah,
gonna
no.
be a YouTube short.
No, I will come and break both your legs.
I don't need them. Take them.
So what is this? This doesn't. I mean, it's hard to make out what the hell the
This
problem with this.
has bad news written all over it. This is bad news all over it, man.
Why? Well, I mean, the black guy with two younger white people, they didn't look like kids. They look like young adults.
Listen, the first time I was exposed to hentai, right? I was 12 years old. I went to this internet cafe where we played games. Like we all night played games. And there was a file folder and it said "Do not look." So me and my buddy were like, "We gotta look." And it was bad. It was like Pokemon and doing weird stuff to people. Just also.
I mean, a lesson for people: if you don't want kids to look, don't put a fucking "don't look" sign on something. They will look.
Exactly.
That one makes them look. We
100%,
have to say
every
goodbye
time.
to Gov. I just want to say one more time: you can get in touch with Tony at knockemdeadcomedy.com. Tony at knockemdeadcomedy.com. If you're interested in doing a podcast at Governor's Podcast Network and have some tech savvy or know anything about acquiring sponsorships or any of that stuff, they're looking for people, especially if you're doing a comedy podcast and want access to some comedians that play there. That's what you got to do. So get in touch with Tony. And we're going to say goodbye to Govs right now. Bye, Govs. Goodbye, Govs.
Goodbye, Govs.
I feel like I need to make a confession here that will have everybody hating me.
You love hentai porn. We knew it. We knew it.
I knew it.
When I was 20 years old, I had a 15-year-old girlfriend. She seduced me, first of all. She was far more sexually experienced than I was. Why are we showing this right now? That's not hentai, right? That's Simpsons porn.
There is some Simpsons hentai porn out there, yes.
I did not know that. Let me finish confessing here. Now, this girl that I had the relationship with, she was 15, I was 20. She was far more sexually experienced than I was. I had known her pretty much all of my life. I still know her. We're still very good friends. She had come off a relationship with a 36-year-old man who was a very sexual relationship. And then after him had several far more intricate sexual relations, starting at 13. She was a fully developed woman, very Italian, fully developed, physically developed woman at 13. By the time we got together, she was 15, I was 20. She was far more emotionally mature than I was, far more experienced. She taught me things. And I had been, this was my fourth year of college now. I had lots of experiences, nothing like what happened with her. So, and it only lasted a couple of months. And then after we broke up, she got with a guy who was much older than me and had a kid by him within months of that. So I'm just saying, sometimes 15 and 20 seem like a huge space to fill, but no, in this case, she was the adult. I was the child, really. And it's but legally, this is 1979 we're talking. Legally now, I would go to jail for that. So I have a little bit more, I don't know, each statutory case should be handled on a case-by-case basis. There are
I agree it should be
mitigating
case by
factors.
case, but 15 for most part, too young.
Yeah, you never met this guy, and again, we are still friends now. She's with her husband now of 30 years, but she, she's still far more mature than I am. Now, my first wife, she was 17. I did not know she was 17 when we first got together. I was 23, 17 and 23. But I met her in a nightclub where you were supposed to be 21. She had proof of 21 to get into the nightclub, and we didn't find out what the hell
That's a Balchinian.
Like we're probably going to get. That looks like a very pornographic image. We shouldn't be showing that.
That's not pornographic.
The pornographic part's off screen.
Yeah.
He's just got a really long chin.
Yep. It's just a long chin.
Okay. Long chin?
Yep. Long chin.
It did not look like a chin from the aspect that I was looking at it from. It looked like a fucking cock.
Are you used to looking at them at that angle?
There's only one I really look at, and I try not to look at it, to be honest with you. I usually close my eyes and look the other way. Yeah. But, 23 and 17, my wife was 17. I was 23. We had the same birthday, and we were married for 6 years after that. Now, her parents knew about it. I didn't know she was 17 when I first hooked up with her again. I found out in a bar when we were talking about birthdays and asked her to pull out a license to prove she had the same birthday as mine. That's less pornographic. I'm fine with that.
I don't know, it got me a little excited.
Again, I think this AIDS thing and this whole, I'm not condoning. It sounds like I'm condoning. I just think every case is individual, and you have to look at it.
I agree, though. For the most part, I agree. Because, like I said, there's 18-year-old guys dating 17-year-olds who get locked up when the girl breaks up with them, and the parents get mad, or the girl gets mad, or any of that shit.
Right. So now, if Chris Tyson, Ava Tyson were a real female, a cis female, naturally born female, would that change this paradigm in any way for you?
I don't know, but that's probably because most teenage boys are not going to be upset when a woman comes after them.
Yeah, I kind of have
I just don't think it's supported.
I kind of been working on a joke about this currently because of a story about these two Wisconsin teachers that tried to set up a group sex time with these two female teachers, wanted these two high school students to join them, and that's the whole thing is like, yeah, from their perspective, it's not creepy because it's teenage boys, and they're like, they should be down for anything, because when you're a teenage boy, you are down for anything.
Yeah, you'll stick it in anything that moves.
This is my I don't know, take on this is where we have these young boys. I know if Miss Dukas, sorry, who I had a crush on, and if it would have gone further than it did, I would have been delighted about it. I would have been fucking bragging about it. I would have been, I nailed Miss Dukas.
That's how the dudes that
30 years later end up suing her because she molested me. This is what happens. What comes on? Hey, maybe there's a payday in this. 30 years later, people revisiting it and calling it sexual molestation. Guys, I'm talking teenage boys.
Some of them get caught too. Some of them get caught too because they do brag about it, and the wrong person hears and they tell on them.
Yeah. But I think this revisiting it 20 years later and coming back for a lawsuit feels like contrived. Like, oh yeah, she scarred me for life. Well, not at the moment. At the moment, you were fucking telling everybody you knew about it, and you were like the hero of the school. Yeah, you wanted that little fucking gold star. I bet the teacher.
I was 19 when I originally met my wife, and she was 17.
But you're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Perverts.
Yep.
Going to jail.
And we had sex.
Disgusting. How
well,
dare
the girl I talked about before was 13. She was having a 6-month very sexual relationship with a guy who was 36 years old. That there's no question that's fucking insane. And but her older sister, who she was living with at the time, it was a friend of hers, and the sister was like in her mid-30s too. I mean, but a friend of hers, and she condoned the whole relationship. It's like, really, 13 years old. So by the time she got to me, I was like a kid.
Well, my wife, my wife, when she was 16 and she would like go to this all ages club, she met a guy there that was like 23 or 24. And he originally thought that she was like 18. And they started talking. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm 16. He's like, we should stop talking now.
Well, yeah, that's a guy who's totally in control, thinking with his head and not with the little head. And you know what? Oh, did she say we should stop talking now, or he said?
He said it.
Oh, yeah. It's hard when you're a guy and your dick is doing all the thinking for you to kind of come back to oh wait, she just said she's underage. I gotta back off now, especially
And there are girls that are 16, 17 that do like guys that are in their 20s too.
Yeah. And there are girls who are in clubs with fake IDs. Again, my first wife, when I met her, I just assumed she was in a club. The drinking age was 19 in New York at that time. It had just gone from 18 to 19. But I assumed she was at least 19. She's in the club. I know they're IDing everybody. And it didn't occur to me that she might be underage until 2 months into the relationship. Yeah, and there are young girls who absolutely physically mature at a very young and look like women, and they visually they would fool you, and sometimes even on how they conduct themselves in their behavior seem like adult women. So
Yeah. And my wife was one of those girls that she looked like she was in her early 20s.
I don't know. The Dershowitz defense is that he didn't take his underwear off. That's not the case I'm making here at all.
Because if you start with the underwear, you know how that starts. It's like
Dershowitz purposely went to an island that he knew there were 13 to 15-year-old girls on when he was 50. This is not that. That's clearly whatever it is, it's sex slaving. So yeah, the Dershowitz defense. No, Dershowitz has no defense. He's no woman in their right mind at any age, even a 90-year-old, would fucking touch that fucking serpent without him paying for it in some way. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of because that Tyson case, the Mr. Beast case, has that gone away? Is Mr. Beast out from under it now? Because
Mr. Beast has distanced himself from.
Fired Tyson and removed him from the company and all. But is he still? It's still like in the cancel culture crosshairs because of that?
I don't think so, unless something comes out that like he knew about it or some shit like that.
Yeah, because he stays pretty. His personal life stays out of the limelight a lot. So
yeah. He's been pretty proactive about it, which tells me that he's trying to protect his business. So
wouldn't you?
No, the dude's worth millions. I don't blame him.
Yeah. They say he knew about it, but again, if he knew that there was inappropriate talk, what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I find it hard to believe that he would know about it unless he was digging through the guy's phone.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it was private messages. So outside of somebody,
a Discord server on like a Discord chat room or something like that. No,
it was in Discord, but you can private message on Discord too. Some of them were like in a Discord like chat, but there were also private messages.
I don't think
released yet though.
Yeah, I don't think Mr. Beast is doing a Joe Paterno and looking the other way.
Yeah, that was the case I was thinking of. But who was the other guy? The guy who was doing the actual raping in the Joe Paterno case. What was that guy's name? I can't remember.
His name was it's like a what the fuck was his name?
I don't know. I can't
Oh,
remember.
right, Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah,
That's
Sandusky, like Sandusky Auto Parts from Tommy Boy.
There was a great Tosh bit when Sandusky did that interview, and he was just talking. It's like, yeah, you like when Bob Costas asked him, it's like, do you fuck kids? And he took a pause at it, and he's like, all right, he said, go ahead and ask me if I fuck kids. You know what my answer comes out? Less than a second. No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no. Why are you fucking crazy? Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah. You don't sit there and think about it.
Right. Yeah, wait, let me see.
Think. No, I don't think I did.
One more incident from my past on that though. There was 3 sisters in New Mexico. I don't want to mention their names. But the oldest one seduced me. She was in her 30s. I was 18 when she seduced me, and it was great sex, believe me. And then her younger sister, who was 23, I was with her one time. And then the youngest sister, who was 17, and I was like 18 or 19, invited me to the house for dinner. Now, I'm at their parents' house. The mother and father are there. The oldest sister is directly across from me, the one I've already had wild sex with. The middle sister, who is right across to the right from me, who I've had sex with. And the youngest sister, who invited me to the house for dinner, is there, sitting at the dining room table, and the parents are there, and we're having this conversation. The youngest girl says to me, let's go take a bath. And basically, we walked up, and the parents didn't do it. She's underage now. I'm 19. She's 17. I mean, it's not a huge gap, but it's still, according to the law, statutory rape. She takes me by the hand, and we go off to the bed. Her parents didn't like. Oh, fine, you're gonna go take a bath with my daughter. Like, this is Clovis, New Mexico, so crazy.
Yeah, the rules are different in New Mexico. We know that.
They are.
Yeah,
but I look back on that now, like I can't imagine myself being in that position. My youngest daughter brings home this guy, New Yorker guy, a little mob-looking ginzo, wop, whatever I am, and then now she's gonna just walk off with him and go take a bath with him. I was like, wait a minute, I would not. I would say, get the fuck out of here. You're not going in. They just allowed it, and they had no problem with it. Different times, 1979, so 78, 79, something like that. Very weird. Keep coming back to that theme of what a rotten pervert Matt used to be. As if you didn't know. Lisa Loeb. Remember Lisa Loeb? One hit, Stay. Yeah. Somebody stole her guitar. It's a beautiful guitar. She posted a picture of it. She wants to returned. I don't know how. It was at the Conrad Hotel in Indianapolis. Stephen probably got a hold of it. But if the people didn't know it was Lisa Loeb's guitar, now they do, I'm not returning that sucker. There's no way. You know what? If I buy it at a pawn shop or I buy it hot, now it's got more value to it than it originally had. It looks like a beautiful guitar. I hate when people steal guitars. Steal guitars. And even there's plenty of crimes I can admit to because statute of limitations has run out on all of them. So yeah, I can. What do you want to hear about? You want to hear about the time? No, never mind. Uncle Joe the mobster. No, we won't talk about that. We'll just skip over that. So help me change the subject really quick. What else? You guys got anything on your mind you want to talk about that's not related to my past crimes or statute of limitation stuff?
No,
I've been seeing a lot of Joe Rogan since we talked about him.
What did I say about Rogan recently?
We talked about it in Showbiz.
Well, yesterday we talked about the special.
Oh, the
his special
special.
in Showbiz.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah,
over the
he's
place now. It's like my phone was listening. It's all over the place.
So he hasn't taped it yet, right? He's taping it this weekend at the
This
mothership.
Friday.
Is it?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
Friday is the live event.
I can't imagine people being excited about that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, they are.
It's Saturday. It's the 3rd.
Right. He's excited about because I saw him posting about how excited he was to be doing it. Probably sold out. Listen, it's his club, right? I'm thinking it's going to be a lot of friends, other comedians who, all that. The room
Yeah, he's
filled
doing
with
it in
cronies.
San Antonio. So
Oh, I thought he was doing it at the mothership. No?
No, he's doing it in San Antonio at an arena. So I mean, he's doing it in a friendly crowd. It's a Texas crowd.
Right. It just he's a really odd duck. I mean, listen, we talked about how he's not funny. He has gone so, and him and people like Russell Brand, when you look at the turn they've made in terms of their political leanings, it's astonishing. I don't know anybody in my life, in real life, who've made a 180, done a complete 180. Like I was on the right, now I'm so far on the left, like diametrically opposed to where I was. I don't know anybody in real life that has done that. And I think it's just about follow the money. It's what's making the money for it, because you never see that in real life. Do you know anybody in your real life who has ever done a total flip-flop like that politically?
I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe a little bit.
A little bit, but not a complete 180, like complete diametric. Like I was a hardcore Republican conservative, now I'm a hardcore liberal, whatever, or the vice versa. Either way, I don't know anybody in real life, but we see a lot of it in these fake media or this new media landscape. Like Russell Brand is one who he was a hardcore liberal, a progressive. Now he seems to be all in on the as far right as you can get. Rogan was he was a Bernie Sanders supporter. He was a guy who espoused a lot of, I wouldn't say he was as far right, far left as Russell Brand was, but now he's so far right, it's unbelievable. Like there isn't one single issue that he leans left on anymore, and that's puzzling. How could you go for completely the opposite? What happened to you?
Will he use this special to finally come out as like I don't want to say alt-right comic, but a really heavy leaning right comic?
Yeah.
Guess we'll see.
Did you see Chris D'Elia is I think he's part of Brendan Schaub's podcast now, or like a regular, like the fighter and the kid. I think he's the kid.
They got rid of what's his name, Brian Callahan.
Brian Callen, I think, still does it, but not as much. I think he's back. I think somebody did a thing on him, like he doesn't need Crowder or Schaub anymore. He's back to where uncanceled. I never really knew he was that canceled to begin with. He was still working, but Chris D'Elia, they were saying, basically, this video I was watching that had him on Schaub. Schaub abuses him during the whole fucking thing, just really totally abuses him, doesn't let him talk. Every time he tries to talk, he shuts him down. What are you having him there for? Just for the sensational, media? Oh, look, he's got Chris D'Elia on there, but he's not. And they're saying this is what Chris D'Elia has to accept now because he's got no other place to go. And I was like, well, I don't feel bad for the guy. I don't feel bad for the guy.
You really can. He's still working, and I mean, how low is your career when you got to go to Brandon Schaub?
Yeah.
I mean, this
and put up with the kind of emasculating that Brian Callen put up with constantly from Crowder and Brian Callen put up with he has a higher degree of tolerance for being abused and humiliated than I can ever imagine having, and just putting up with that. But it's an interesting dynamic to me. Yeah. So I have a show tonight with a woman who is now an author who has her books are based on her life in the punk rock scene. She was I think a drummer, a punk rock drummer, but now she's an author, a mom, and writing about that kind of stuff. That's an interesting, obviously something I'm interested in the life in a punk rock band and that whole stuff, because punk was the original anti-establishment music, for at least, I mean, you could probably say that of rock and roll in general, but how many people turned that into, like, the Sex Pistols and the Ramones, and turned it into a Green Day, for one, like totally over the top, turned it into an establishment thing. So it starts out as anti-establishment, but then the more you get into it, the more you start making money, the more you say, you know what, establishment's not so bad. They're providing greenbacks, and which I never had before. And then they seem to embrace everything they were against. I don't know if the Sex Pistols really did that, but certainly the Ramones did that. They bought into the capitalism.
Well, the Sex Pistols have been the Sex Pistols have been grabbing for cash for what, 15 years, 20 years now.
Yeah. I don't know. I obviously my scope of knowledge of the punk movement is very limited. I mean, there was a lot of bands that were big to people that I didn't even know anything about. So, Steven, you're a Slipknot guy. That's heavy metal, right? Slipknot.
Indeed.
Don't really know anything about them. Would they like as big as, say, like Metallica in the like 80s metal type of genre? Were they?
Yeah, Slipknot to this day, they've been around for a little over 20 years. They do shows as big as Metallica's, if not bigger at times.
Really?
All over the world. They even have their own festival, Knot Fest in Iowa.
What's their biggest hit? Biggest record, most popular record?
Their most popular record, probably Subliminal Hits Volume 3.
Yeah.
Is probably their best. Yeah, with Duality is probably one of their bigger songs. They still
Slipknot
have an awesome
spooky mask gimmick.
Yeah,
like Buckethead.
Let's see if I can pull them up here and show you.
Yeah, they wear all sorts of different masks. It's kind of their thing, and they've always been like that. And they're from Iowa, and they just have this huge. They got this like big, like sound to them, this big metal sound, and they're pretty intense. Yeah.
I got to give him credit for just for making it out of Iowa. Yesterday was a guy, Marco Antoine, in El Paso. That's why I asked him, who's the most famous comedian to ever come out of El Paso? You know what? Iowa, the most famous metal band to ever come out of Iowa, Slipknot. I mean, things just don't happen in the middle of nowhere.
It did for them. This is
that's what I'm saying. Good for them. Kudos for them. That's an achievement in itself. Just being able to make it into mainstream popularity coming out of Iowa. It's just like so little opportunity to. Yeah. Obviously, if you're any good and you do get noticed, you're going to be big locally. But then making it out of that little goldfish bowl is a metalist with marching drums.
Yeah, so they're a 9-piece band. Guitars, bass, drums, keg, snare drums, DJ. It's pretty badass.
DJ. So they mix in like some hip hop ish type of stuff. Or
no. It's more sound effects and weird. What's the word I'm looking for? They mix weird stuff. Like, for example, the keg in the song Duality, the keg that they hit with the baseball bat is like the predominant feature in that song. That's what everybody loves in that song. Is watching Clown just take a baseball bat and just ding.
Wow. Are you familiar with the Buckethead Axl Rose feud? The feud? Like lawsuits.
I've heard about the feud. I'm not super familiar with it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, it was surprising to me. Now they were claiming Buckethead is one of the most revered and I don't know, accomplished guitar players. To me, if you're that good, why do you need the gimmick? Why do you need the fucking KFC bucket on your head and the mask? I don't know his work,
I
but
mean, same reason Marshmello did the thing and Slipknot does the thing. It's just a gimmick, and it worked.
Yeah, well, I think for him, he like I read before, like that guy was shy, but he did it because he wants people to hear the music. It's not to him. He does like the music is first, and he's only kind of delivering it.
Yeah, but there is the purist aspect that says don't use any gimmicks at all. If you're that good, make it on your talent. Get noticed on purely on your talent.
Well, there is a pop artist by the name of Sia, and she's like an incredible songwriter. She's written a lot of these pop hits, and she was asked like she kept getting pushed to perform and perform, and she's incredibly shy. And so she does perform, but she wears these hats with veils all over her face and things like that because she's extremely shy.
Yeah, very weird. You know what? I suppose if you have to do that to get on stage, that's a whole different thing than purposely doing it for a gimmick.
Yeah.
And maybe that was Buckethead's thing, but the bucket, that's not about shyness. The mask is about shyness. The bucket is just, it's like, what the fuck is with this guy? And then you stop and you look and you say, oh, whoa, he's a fucking killer player. If he is, I don't know. I don't really know his work.
Yeah, and Slipknot's the same way. I think they've like the reason they got behind masks and things like that because they wanted it to be like a collective unit when they perform, and it's like you're here to hear this fucking insanity we're gonna play for you.
Right. Now, before I mention, because I have been doing, and that's why I brought up Slipknot, because I'm thinking about doing some reels on them. For a while there, I was just doing music and comedy, and YouTube was pushing those reels out like crazy. I saw the channel growing, and then recently, in the last, because I think it has to do with the fact that I started mixing it up with some different genres and stuff like that, movies and true crime and that kind of stuff, that they stopped pushing it. And now I'm seeing the numbers actually take a nosedive compared to where they were. Did one on Rush expecting big numbers, got really disappointing numbers on that. And like I'm going through classic rock stuff, running out of ideas. I haven't done Metallica yet, but I'm going to probably do a Metallica one, and I might do a Slipknot one. It's difficult for me if I don't really know their music to really be able to do a decent, even with the help of AI. Listen, AI just does the voiceover for me according to the script that I come up with. But after that, I have to do all the images because if they're just using stock image, it's fucking lame as shit. I mean, there's no value in it at all.
Just make sure if it goes through any of the mask progressions, that the timeline's right, because the maggots will get really upset.
All right.
That mask is from 1998, not 2004, you liar.
Well, see, no, I love that because that kind of, if they come at me with anger, I encourage that. And I even encourage that dipshit who you are too cowardice to expose to come at me with that himself or herself rather than go to you like a back channel thing. Post it online. Go underneath.
Hold on. Let me preface. It wasn't sent to me as it was sent to me not as like I was gonna post this, but I'm too scared to do it. No, it was just like, hey, I'm just letting you know type deal.
No, I'm just letting you know. Like, why would I just let you know? I want you to take action on it. Why would I just want you to know? I want you to do something. I want you to react. I don't send that to you unless I want a reaction. And that reaction is basically stop talking about Trump is basically what they were saying.
Well,
or
to be fair, he didn't want to put it in the chat because I think he doesn't want to burn bridges.
He's a pussy. Put it in the chat. And not just in the chat, in the comments below. That helps, believe it or not. So I
Finger
encourage.
pussy. No, I'm just kidding.
So back to the Slipknot thing. If I get a lot of anger or angry replies on that, that's good for me. I love that. That's gonna help. So and whether it's Rush or any of these stuff, especially when I make a mistake or AI makes a mistake, point it out. Go for it. Hit hard. Play within the YouTube rules, but definitely hit hard and leave a comment.
You should also do one on Guar.
Guar, yeah. What is it?
Guar.
What is it?
Yeah.
I know of them a little bit, but does that stand for anything? GWAR? Is that
it did.
Huh? Gods of
here.
War.
I could have sworn it did. There it is.
Goons
There are
without
multiple matches for Guar, but
goons of Aryan racism.
I would say grotesque. Something.
They said it means. They said, according to the band, it means Guar.
But at least
that's what it says. They have it spelled out. They have it spelled out GWAAARRRGGGHHHIIIGH.
Yeah, and Guar is funny though. Guar is funny.
Super funny.
They are a good band. They wear those outfits and shit, but their songs are funny.
So much fun to watch. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though? All these, some of these musicians that's gone on stage with like effigies of presidents and they kill them or behead them or whatever. Guar has done that on stage at almost every concert for like 10 years. They have killed whoever the president is on stage. Every
maybe
concert,
Kyle Gass.
Maybe
Kyle Gass should audition. Maybe. It's very weird. He got
no, because they're gonna be like we don't like talkers, we like doers,
Yeah,
so.
we don't really. We're not big on acoustic guitars. Take your little fucking
And I don't think the Trumpers would go there to go to a Guar concert to protest. They're afraid of those people.
Probably not. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
Ron, you have to stop saying. You have to stop saying Trump, or we're going to lose to Stephen's friend.
Well, he's big news around here today because he's going to be in Harrisburg for a rally.
Let's be clear though. This dipshit that sent Steve that manipulated, huh? The person who sent you that fucking complaint yesterday, in a 2.5-hour show, we spent less than 4 minutes talking politics at all, and it was more about Harris than it was about Trump, and it was more about the things that are going on politically that aren't about. It was about Vance and all that kind of stuff. We didn't. I picked the odd day where we almost didn't even mention Trump to say 2.5 hours too much about Trump. There are days when it has been too much about Trump. I will freely admit that. Like we've gotten sidetracked and spent too much time on it. But I think 4 minutes total on politics yesterday in a show that we were all over the fucking map on. I would think if anything was painful about yesterday's show, it was trying to interview a guy who was on severe delay with Wi-Fi issues, who really had nothing going on. That was painful. It was painful for me. I have to, and the whole time
it was fairly painful.
Yeah. I'm thinking in the back of my mind. Yeah. While we're having the conversation, I'm thinking, how much longer do we have to go? How much longer? I don't know what else to say.
I almost sent you a message like, maybe we can cut this one short a little bit.
Abort! Yeah, no, I felt it. Like, in hindsight, I could have talked to him a little bit more about his music or whatever. But he's an older guy starting. He said 6 years in comedy, but he's got nothing on his horizon for the next month. I don't know. That was a difficult thing, and there will be those. Anyway, I guess we've hit a wall here today. So what we know now that I'm a pervert, and you should hate me. Send me your hate mail. So it really, the painful part to watch is my confessions of all the things I've done wrong in my life, not really the political stuff, right? right? You hate me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty, unlike the coward Stephen, who won't come out and say yeah. He just kind of nods and does his little vape. Anyway, that's the show. Got anything else to say?
Y'all got
Ron, how did the doghouse go last night? I'm interrupting Stephen. How did the doghouse go last night? People come out?
It went pretty good. We had a couple audience members, but the AC unit still isn't working back in that room. So luckily it wasn't as hot as it was yesterday, and we had fans and stuff, but we were out. We wrapped up the mic in like 50 minutes.
No. At that point, listen, I'm not telling you what to do. I really am not telling you what to do. But I would go to the owner and say, "What the fuck, man? Do you need me to call an AC guy for you? You don't have the money to fix it? What's the issue here? I mean, it's been a couple of weeks now. It's not like the AC guys aren't available. Let's get it fixed. You want it business or not?"
Yeah,
that's what I would do. What were you saying before you got so rudely interrupted, Crystalia?
I don't remember. It's okay. That wasn't important.
No, probably it definitely wasn't important. I'm going to call you
okay.
Stephen the Crystalia Ortiz. You like that?
Ooh, that's mean. Why would you do that?
Well, you are texting like all sorts of inappropriate things to people all day long.
No, just you guys. It's just you guys mostly.
How do you know I'm not an underage girl in disguise? Anyway,
well, I'd have questions then.
All right. Let's go. Let's get out of here and try again tomorrow. Be with me tonight at 8 p.m. We'll talk about punk rock and stuff, chick rock. All right. Bye for now, guys. Have a great day. All right. It's just me, and I'm telling hymns. Those blue boner pills, gummies or something. Are going to be a sponsor. I'm working on them coming on board. I have to do commercials for them, but I just saw it. That just popped up in my little email notice. They are getting back to me about that. So if you need a boner, I'm going to give them a little free advance advertisement here. If you need a boner, go to Hims. I don't know if it's Hims.com, but you know where to find Hims. Just Google Hims and say, I need a boner quick. Get me a gummy. Anyway, that's the show for today. See you tomorrow. Don't forget to turn on your radio. Bye for now.
I
to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me.